Hello everyone. I wanted to make a quick video about installing a steering wheel, detachable steering wheel in a C7. I've done a lot of research on the internet, really haven't found anything that really goes through in detail on how to do it and um, the steps that you've got to take. Obviously, I've taken the steering wheel off. There's plenty of videos out there about taking the steering wheel off, and then I've taken the column covers off. There's just two bolts like this that are in the face right here. You take those off, and then the two column pieces will separate in it. You'll be able to see everything here. You can see the clock spring here, the main connector off the harness that goes into. I'm not sure what this is. I mean, this whole thing is the clock spring. Then it comes through and goes to your steering and out to your steering controls. And the issue that you have with the C7 is you've got a bunch of different controls. One of them is the select to be able to go through the menus on here that's sitting on this side. I believe the other side is just the cruise control, and I think there's a volume, and then I think there's something with favorites over here on this side. Of those, if you're doing one like what I'm doing, I just simply track my car. Those aren't very concerned, but the ones that are the select button that's on this side. You need to do something with that, and then in the case of my car, I have the manual here, so I need to be able to turn rev matching on. Okay, so you've got the pedals behind the steering wheel, of which you've got to be able to activate rev matching somehow. And still have the steering wheel able to detach. So all these wires that are coming through here, typically the only thing they have is the horn on those steering wheels. And I believe the one that I'm getting does have the horn. So I'll retain the horn. And I believe those two wires are this one here and this one here. And we can test it. There you go. These two. So these two wires will be retained through the, I'm going to do an RG short hub adapter. I'm going to do their quick release, and I picked out one of their steering wheels too. So I'll feed these two wires through to the horn, right? And I'll end up trimming all these off here. Keep the clock. Always keep that clock spring right here. You don't want to screw that clock spring up. So let me quickly show you the steering wheel. So the idea is going to be that I'm going to, the same wires that are coming off of here for the select mode, which I believe you need the ground, the black, you need this red over here and this green black here. I will tap into those on this side, right? And I'll show you where I mount it, because then you need to remote mount those buttons somewhere else. So let me just show you those real quick. So obviously here's your steering wheel, right? So you get the steering wheel off. This bezel just comes off. You can pop that off fairly easy. It's just got some clips on it, right? And then you can get to your paddles. Plenty of videos about taking the paddles off. I think the screws are just right here and they come off. And then getting all the buttons out of there. Okay, here. So like I said, the key is, maybe if you don't know how to, I think there's some videos out there about taking the paddles apart, but if you're not sure, I ended up using, I believe it was the right side paddle here. If we can see it, it says right hand. I ended up using the right hand paddle. I did try to use the left hand paddle switch. They're chained together so that you can pull either one on a manual car and get the rev matching to activate. But when I tried to just connect this one by itself, the wires, it didn't work. So I ended up taking this one apart. And just if you don't know how to take these apart, essentially, let me focus in on there. There is a slot. Where is the slot? Now I'm going to have a problem finding where the slot is to push the pin through. It's right here. I keep going past it. It's right here. You would put a screwdriver in here, and literally you'd see the pin down in there with a flat tip screwdriver, and you can push the pin out, right? And this is the pin that you'll end up pushing out right here. So you push that out, and then this will come apart like that. And what you'll find in there is a board. It looks like this. This is actually the left-hand one. And it's got a little tiny switch on there. There's some, I don't know if there's resistors, capacitors, something on the board right there that actually make the switch work. If you just tried to put the two wires together, it doesn't do anything. It's got to have that board in there. So I retained the board out of the right one here. I had to use the Dremel tool to get it out of there. It was sitting actually in this area right here. And the other thing I did, the control switch that used to be right there, the select switch, the up and down arrows, I retained that and moved that. And this is what I came up with. So here's the bottom cover, right? You've got where you can put your key in. So what I did at the bottom is I remote mounted the select switch here, right? It's got two posts on them. Let me show you this one here. See, it's got the two posts on there. I simply measured those out. I think they're 2 inches apart this way, and they're like a 1/4 inch apart from here to here this way. So I measured that out here and drilled a couple holes that were the diameter of the post itself, not the high pin part, but the post itself. I think it's like 200 mils. And then I ground down this post here until the 200 mil hole that I drilled into the side here, into the bottom of the cover fit through there. And then I just glued it on the other side. And I've got the connector here too. So there's the connector. It's put in, I glued it. And then for the switch is small. Like I was saying before, I mean, that's just a tiny little switch that this thing is. See if I can see this. That's it. There's nothing to this thing. You got to be careful with it. But essentially what I did was I took that board, and it's kind of hard to see there, but I drilled a hole through the bottom and held the board in with a screw right there and pushed it through the bottom, and you can see it right down here. Maybe I can put it a little bit differently. But the button is right there. And it works perfect. I've already tested it. And that's my rev match button. Push it, it comes on. Push it, it goes off. Okay, so with the board here, what I had to do, the right-hand board's got three conductors going through it here. What I had to do is heat it up with a solder gun and use a little solder sucker and pull all the solder out of it and push these out. And it left me two holes there where I could just run the wires through. Now, again, this is the left side. The right side has 3 holes. And on the right side, what you want to do, let me push this back over. You'll want to use the middle one. The middle one will be the black wire. It's your ground wire. So you'll use that on the middle hole. You can see the hole to the left where the other conductor was. I just left it, didn't do anything. And then the hole on the right is the wire that goes up into the harness, which is a yellow-brown wire. Sorry for all the not the greatest video work, but just wanted to lay this out for everybody who's interested. So that's the wire that's going to go up there. The next step. So now with these are solidly mounted. They'll sit underneath like that. So you'll be able to hit your rev match button when you start up, and then you'll be able to hit your select button to clear any codes or go through all the menus and stuff like that, as it's right there. So the next step after this, and everything clears really well. So what I'm going to do is I've got the 26, this is 26 gauge wire, 7-strand conductor. I'm going to get some, I've got more coming, and I'll put the 2 blacks together and have just one black that goes up there. Then I'll have the red, and then I'll have the black green go into the harness, and then I'll have the brown yellow go into the harness. So if we go back over to the car here, and you look at the harness right here, You take that out. I've already pushed. Sorry. Hold on a second. Not a lot of good lighting in here, but I've already pushed the protectant tape back somewhat and expose the wire. So I'm just going to splice right into these. Here's the red right here. Here's the black, green. The ground. Sorry, the ground is right there. You can see the black right there. There's the red, the green, and then there you can see the brown, yellow right there. So I'm going to splice it into those. I may actually just cut these and splice directly into the harness itself and not worry about splicing direct, because I don't need these to go straight through. The only ones that need to go straight through are the horn. And the horn, sorry, I'm terrible with video here. And the horn is got the black, right? And the other one is a white green, which is this one right here. This one on the very end. So these two have to go through. I can't cut the black. So I have to probably just cut a section of it to expose it, and then I'll bring my black in here, right? So then this will go into here, and the bottom cover's down here. I'll bring the wiring, those wiring connections up to here, connect it, and it should be good to go. It should be good to go. When I get I got the wiring coming. So when I get the wiring and get the wiring for the switch and get the steering wheel, everything might be here by then. And I'll just show you once I get this wiring connected to the harness and get this piece installed back in there and test it. I'll video that, make sure everything's good to go, and then the rest of it is just simply putting on the steering wheel, which is probably bazillion videos on that. But once I get it all wired up, I'll finish up the video. Thanks for watching.